has been here a long time, like real evil. I can't even do it. Yeah, yeah. And I played it, and the person that was there assisting me, they turned around and left the house immediately. They didn't want no part of that. Yeah. Right, so you got to be careful of these things. Just be careful. That's all I got to say. And how about you ever been in places where you've almost fell through the floor or dangers like that people don't realize too?
Right. We have. That's a great point. They don't really understand.
Yeah, I mean, listen, a lot of these places, especially older buildings, you investigate them, my God, be careful. The floors are rotten. You might fall through. It's happened to me. It's happened to Gary even.
Oh, right.
Right. So have you come across that yourself too?
We have. We've been to, we have certain areas we go to pretty regularly, and this one place I'm thinking of, seems like each time we went, it was a little more dangerous. So it's kind of, I think our visits there are pretty limited now because it's just getting too bad.
Yeah, and you got a lot of people don't realize. That's why I always say, man, don't trespass in places. It's not worth it. You never know what you're walking into. And another hazard people don't realize is bugs. Cockroaches, bed bugs, and what you can bring these things home with you. They could be worse than spirits.
Right. And also, you have to. These days, you have to. Watch out for people that might be staying there, like somebody that might be setting up camp in the abandoned buildings or whatever. So you definitely have to be careful.
Have you ever come across that?
We haven't, and I hope we never do. But I have heard of a lot of other groups that have, and they put out a general warning: be careful. Not only get permission from whoever owns the property, but always go in a group and have your cell phone ready and be cautious because, as you know, these days things are getting pretty dangerous out there.
They are. I went on investigation years ago, and it was an old abandoned building. And there was some vagrant in there. He was, I don't know, maybe he was homeless. I don't know. I know the one team member went in, and him and the vagrant met each other. And listen, they scared each other so bad that they both come running out of the building. It was miserable. Well, think about it. You imagine being in a scary old building, down in a basement somewhere, and you stumble upon a living man, but you're looking for a spirit.
It makes perfect sense.
Oh, they scared each other to death. They come running out of there. You thought there was a Chinese fire drill. Yeah.
That reminds me, there was a old movie. It's called Private Eyes. It had Don Knotts and Tim Conway in it, and that was pretty much their response to the haunted castle they were investigating.
Yeah, you never know. Some of these places you don't know. At least if you're doing a private resident, you know what's up. You're trying to help somebody, and that's a good thing. Now, when you get a call to help a private resident, do you have like a protocol of questions you ask them, or what's your procedure?
Yeah, we try to have a talk with them to first see what possible paranormal activities going on, why they think it's paranormal, so forth and so on. We try to ask a lot of questions, so. You just don't want to go out there and find out it's a raccoon, but, and once that's done, and if we think they're not pulling our leg or, hopefully not on drugs, and if they're pretty serious about what they're asking, and if they sound sincere, we'll go out there and try to debunk anything like electrical problems or animals or anything like that. And then, after we do that, we go to the possible paranormal aspect of it.
Yeah, I agree totally. Now, EMF, I have noticed, and I've been in cases where the EMFs were so high that they were mind-blowing. Like because some of that can affect people's brains, and they can make you hallucinate and stuff. So you do a lot of that?
I've got a good story to illustrate that. We went to this residential home, and the lady said that she was having problems sleeping, and she might have even said she had headaches and so forth and so on. So after we got that information, we got out our K2 meters and started doing our baseline readings. And by the time we got to the bedroom, we found out that right where she sleeps on the headboard was this old time clock. And when we put the K2 meter, it went solid, and it stayed solid. So with her sleeping that close to it, no wonder she was having headaches and feeling odd things.
Oh my goodness, yeah. And even high carbon monoxide or radon and all these other things could cause things too, make people think paranormal is not even. That's why I've always kind of test all. I imagine you test all that stuff too before you get into it, right?
Right.
Yeah, because people don't realize, it's crazy.
Sometimes we'll be really surprised when we do our baseline sweep, we'll get a high reading from a stove or a microwave or whatever, or bad wiring for that matter, and it will be a solid constant, and that automatically says, okay, that needs to be watched as a possible cause.
Exactly. Now, if you're in a place there's no electrical at all and you're getting some big spikes, have you ever come across that?
What do you think? Going back to St. Ignatius, there's a room, I think it's on the third floor, room 311. It's known as Rose's room. That's the old TB sanitarium. No electricity at all. We would go to her room, and we've done this 3 or 4 times, and we would use the K2 and a flashlight as a yes/no type response, and we would get solid answers. So that was pretty exciting.
Yeah, that definitely will raise an eyebrow or two, especially when you shouldn't. And
right.
Yeah, exactly. Well, at least I know you're out there trying to help people anyway. Hey, there's a couple of minutes left. You want to promote anything or anything you want to shout out to?
Just our group name is East Washington Paranormal Group. We're on Facebook and YouTube. My wife Kelly's a member. Mike and Angela are some more members, and Ashlyn and Bree. And we love what we do, and it's all about helping people and trying to learn more about the paranormal.
And what's the name of your group?
East Washington Paranormal Group.
Okay. So there you go. Now, again, I would strongly suggest, you guys use whatever your higher power is to protect yourselves before, during, and after. Always important. Okay. Definitely, believe me, I've helped many team members before, not my team, other teams that picked up attachments. You don't want to do that stuff. My goodness.
Yeah, that's the last thing we want or need.
You're right. Yeah, you don't want to bring somebody else's spirit home.
No, not at all.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's good to know you guys are out there trying to help people and just, stay on top of it, and
right.
And keep up the good work. I mean, again, what are you going to be next?
Let's see. We were going to be in Dayton, Washington at a distillery. It's supposedly haunted, and they're doing a seance there. And then after that, we're going to a haunted bar and grill. The spirit's name is of a young lady that supposedly was killed there. So we've had a lot of interaction with her. So we're going back and look forward to it.
Well, hey, Charles, this is Gary. I just want to say thank you for being on Night Dreams, and I'm going to have to let you go. But, you know, I'm finally glad. And again, I want to apologize what happened last week. I wrote you down on the wrong day, and I apologize.
No worries. I'm very honored to be on.
Okay, sir. And keep in touch. Maybe we can bring you back on later on.
I would love that. Thank you so much.
Okay, Charles, you have a great week.
Okay, you too. Thank you, sir.
Okay, night.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Now, about the show tomorrow. Hopefully our main guest is going to make it, Tom Whitmore, but he's in the hospital today. So if he doesn't make it in, he was going to talk about UFOs and disclosure and government documents. But if he doesn't make it in, Mark Cushman will come in early. And he's the author who wrote the original book about the original Star Trek. He had the notes and everything from Roddenberry, who, you know, and had permission for Roddenberry before he died to write the book. So he had all the preview of why Star Trek got canceled, a lot about stuff about the main actors and all that stuff. We're going to talk about Star Trek tomorrow also. We're going to be talking about Trackdown with Robert Culp, I Spy. Yes, with Bill Crosby, but you have to understand something. Bill Crosby was the first American black actor in TV to have a starring role. And that is very important. I don't care about what he did afterwards, but what he did was the first thing that actually brought, well, blacks into our living rooms, you know, with the regular shows and stuff like that. He broke segregation, him and Robert Culp. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to also be talking about I Spy was the first TV show. I don't know if you know this. That was filmed around the world on location. And they were the first show to use wireless microphones and not have big booms and all that stuff overhead. I think the show was way ahead of its time. And the reason why it got canceled, it did not get canceled because of the ratings. Again, it was somebody who actually produced the show that called the bluff with the network because there was supposed to be another show that he was offered, but the network said, no, we're not going to bring the other show on. And he said, well, I have a contract. So they said, okay, we'll bring the other show on, but we're going to cancel I Spy. I Spy was the top 10 TV show on the network. And they actually try to bring it back a year later. So we're going to be talking about that tomorrow night. And again, even Star Trek, after it was canceled, the networks actually wanted it back. But there's a lot of reasons why it failed. And it wasn't because the ratings. It was because of, well, Lucille Ball. She overextended herself. She was trying to do too many different shows. And the cost of, I hate to say it, of producing Star Trek was huge back in that day. I mean, it was huge. So we're going to be talking about all that. So if you're a Star Trek fan, make sure you tune in tomorrow. Now, if Tom gets out of the hospital, we're going to have a big disclosure talk for 90 minutes on UFOs and documents. So that is cool. Now, James, the website. People need to go to www.nightdreamstalkradio.com. I made some major improvements on the show. You don't have to scroll down to the bottom of the page anymore to hit the player. You just hit listen live on the very top of the web page. It'll bring you right into the player. When we're live, it is live there also. Or you can listen to almost 400 shows for free, at least for right now. We also have a store on it. We're going to be adding merchandise on it all week long, but there are some shirts you can definitely, pick out now or, help support the show. Anyway, till tomorrow, everybody have a great one and stay out of trouble, and we'll catch you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.